Hello student, today we'll talk about the internal fertilization and external fertilization. Internal fertilization and external fertilization. As we've already discussed about the fertilization, and the fertilization is the fusion of male gametes with the fusion of male gametes with the female gametes, fusion of male gametes with a female gametes, fusion of male gametes with the female gametes to form a zygote. To form a zygote during sexual reproduction, it is called fertilization. Okay, what is fertilization? The fusion of a male gametes with a female gamete to form a zygote. It is called fertilization. Now, fertilization are of further two types: internal fertilization and the external fertilization. Okay, and we know that the egg, or you can say that ovum, is made in the body of a female animal. So the fertilization of an egg by a sperm can take place either inside the body of an female animal, or you can say the outside the body of a female animal. Okay, so this leads to the two modes of fertilization. First is internal fertilization and the second one is external fertilization. Firstly, we'll talk about the internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. What is internal fertilization? From its name, we can say that the fertilization occur inside the body of the female, and in external fertilization takes place outside the body of the female. So internal fertilization, the fertilization which takes place, fertilization which takes place inside the body, fertilization which takes place inside the body of a female, is called internal fertilization. Okay, here the female's animal egg are fertilized by the sperm inside her body, and the male animal put its cell into the female animal's body, and this cell then fertilizes the egg inside her body. For example, a man put his sperm inside a woman's body, and these sperm can then fertilize the egg inside the woman's body. And this type of fertilization, in which the fusion of male gametes and a female gametes occur inside the body of a female, it is called internal fertilization. Okay, for example, internal fertilization takes place in a very large number of, like in human beings, you can say that humans, cows, it's all about the examples of internal fertilization: cows, dogs, cats, okay, tigers, lions. These are all the example of internal fertilization. Okay, so internal fertilization occurs inside the body of a female animal. Now, if I will talk about the external fertilization, from its name you can easily say that the fertilization which takes place outside the female body is called external fertilization. The fertilization which takes place outside the female body is called external fertilization. So in external fertilization, the female animal eggs the female animal egg are fertilized by the cells sperms outside her body. In frogs and most of the fishes, fertilization occur outside the female's body. क्या होता है यहाँ पे? Fertilization occur outside the female body, right? What happened in this case? In this case, fertilization occurs outside the female body. For example, frog and fishes. Okay, frog and what they did during spring season, frog what frog does, they move to the water in ponds, and when the male frog and female frog come together, when the male and female frog come together, the female frog lays 100 of eggs in the water, right? And a layer of jelly holds the frog's eggs together and provides protection to the eggs. And when the female frog lays 100 of eggs at the same time, the male frog releases millions of sperms inside the water, and they combine together and they start fertilization outside the female's body, right? And this type of fertilization, in which the fusion of the male gametes and the female gametes takes place outside the body of a female animal, it is called external fertilization, right? So it is all about the external fertilization and the internal fertilization. Okay, now we'll discuss about the sexual reproduction in animals. Okay, sexual reproduction in animals. And you know that it is a most common method of reproduction in animals. Okay, there are two methods of reproduction in animal. First one is asexual and the second one is sexual. In asexual reproduction, we have already discussed about the asexual reproduction, that in asexual reproduction only one parent is involved in it for the production, and in sexual reproduction both two parents are involved in the reproduction. It is called asexual reproduction. So it is a most common method of reproduction in animals, and in this reproduction two parents are involved, that is male and female. Male plus female both are involved, and both are involved to form a zygote, right? They form a, and these two parents have sex organ which contains sex cells or gametes, and the male parents have organ called testes which produce male gametes, and the female parents have ovaries which is called egg. And the whole process of sexual reproduction in animals involves the formation of sperms and eggs joining together of these two to form a fertilized egg which is called zygote. Male gametes plus female gametes both make zygote. Both make zygote, right? To form a baby animal. And the sexual reproduction in animals takes place in the following steps. Note down these steps. The male parent produces male gametes called this sperms. Second, the female gametes, or you can say that the female parent produces female gametes called eggs or ova, right? Now third point is the sperms enter into the egg enters enter into the eggs, okay, enter into the eggs, and the nucleus of sperm fuses with the nuclei of, or you can say that with the nucleus of egg cell, to form a zygote, or you can say that to form a new cell called zygote. Clear? And the fourth point is the zygote divides repeatedly to form a hollow ball of 100 of cell is called embryo. Okay, and the embryo grows and becomes a fetus, and the fetus grow and develops to form a new baby. Fourth point is, I'll just write it down, embryo. Fifth is embryo grows, it grows. And the sixth point is fetus grows. Clear? And they form a new baby. Clear? Now here we'll study about the male reproductive system. Okay, here we'll discuss about the male reproductive system. So the human male reproductive system consists of following organs. Which one? First one is testes, second is scrotal sacs, third one is epididymis, this one is seminal vessels, and last one is penis. Okay, these are the following organs of a male reproductive system, right? So the human male reproductive system is shown in your figure uh, on page number 149 of your notebook. Please open it. And the human male is called male. We can also say that it is a reproductive system of a man. So what is this testis? These are the oval shaped organ which lie outside the abdominal cavity of a man. Okay, outside the abdominal cavity this organs lies, and it is a oval shaped. Okay, it is a oval shaped, and a man has two testes. These are the real reproductive organs in man, and a male gametes called are and the male gametes are made in this organ. Okay, male gametes are made in this. Okay, male gametes are made in these organs, and millions of sperms are produced in this organ, and this organ are enclosed in small bag of skin called scrotal sacs. Okay, these organs are enclosed in a small, you can say that, in a small bag of skin called scrotal sac. This organ are enclosed in this scrotal sac, which is a thin bag of skin. And this organ, first organ, works more efficiently at a temperature slightly below the body temperature, so they are held outside the body in the scrotal sacs. We'll discuss this male reproductive system from directly through the diagram. This one is bladder. And it is called epididymis, right? And its seminal vesicle, and this one is ureter. Okay, and it is called sperm duct. This one is urethra. It's called penis, right? It is all about the male reproductive system. Here, this organ is enclosed in scrotal sac, which is a small bag of skin, and this organ works more efficiently at a temperature which is slightly below the body temperature. So the sperm forms in this organ come out and go into the coiled tube called epididymis, and they get stored in this epididymis, and from epididymis these gametes are carried out by a long tube called sperm duct, into the organ called seminal vesicle, and this gametes get stored in semivesicle, and the semivesicle joined to another tube which is called urethra, which is coming from the bladder, and this urethra carries the gametes to an organ called this penis, so which opens outside the body, and it passes the gametes from the man bodies to women's body for the purpose of reproduction. And the male reproductive system is designed to manufacture gametes and to deliver them to the place where one of them will be able to fuse with an egg, or you can say that female gamete, and bring about fertilization. It is all about the male reproductive system. Now we will talk about the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system. In female reproductive system, following organs are there. First one is ovaries, oviducts, uterus, and vagina. You can see the diagram from your book having page number 150. So the ovaries are the oval shaped organ which are inside the abdominal cavity of the women, and the women have two ovaries, and ovaries are the real reproductive organs in a woman, and these ovaries make the female gametes, or you can say that eggs or ova. So the oviducts are not directly connected to the ovaries, but they have funnel shaped opening which almost cover the ovaries. Okay, so in human beings, one matured egg is released in oviducts every month by one of the ovaries, and the fertilization of egg by gametes, male gametes, takes place in the oviduct. Now the process of reproduction in human takes place in two steps. The process of reproduction takes place in human bodies. In human takes place in two steps. First one is fertilization, and second one is development of embryo. Development of embryo. We'll discuss about the fertilization. The male gametes are introduced into the women's body through its vagina, and the male gametes into the female's body, which is passed through the uterus and then goes into the oviduct, and the tail of the male gametes help in moving to reach the oviduct, and then At the same time, the ovary of women releases an egg, and this egg also goes into the oviduct. And one of the male gametes enter the egg. The fusion of sperm with egg is called fertilization. We have also discussed about the fertilization, that when male gametes and female gamete fuses or combine, they form a zygote, and this process is called fertilization. And what is the development of embryo? What is embryo? Embryo is the when we can't identify any body feature of baby, like hands, legs, या egg of a developing body, it is called in embryo state. Okay, the unborn baby at an early stage of development in the uterus is called embryo. Now we'll see the difference between zygote, embryo, and fetus. And fetus. So what is zygote? Zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gamete. Male plus female gametes, when combined, they form a zygote. Right? And what is embryo? And embryo is formed by the repeated cell division of zygote. When cell division occurs in zygote, they form embryo. Cell division in zygote form embryo. It is a unborn baby at an early stage of development in uterus is called embryo. And what is fetus? Fetus is formed by the growth and development of embryo. Growth and development of embryo. Right? It is called fetus. What is called? It is called fetus. And a zygote is the beginning of the formation of a baby. Beginning of formation of a baby. It is a beginning, and it is a up to 8 weeks. Okay. Embryo is an unborn baby in the uterus in the early stage of development up to 8 weeks, and a fetus is an unborn baby in the later stage of development, that is 8 weeks till birth. And the third point is, it is a single cell. Zygote is a single cell. It is smaller than a full stop. It is a single cell, smaller than a full stop. You can imagine now how small zygote cell is. An embryo is a multicellular. It is a single cell. Okay, it is a single cell, and embryo is a multicellular, and fetus is also a multicellular. Fetus is also a multicellular. So it is all about the difference between the zygote, embryo, and fetus. And today we have discussed about the new chapter, that is reproduction in animals, methods of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. And we have discussed about the few terms like male and female gametes, fertilization. And fertilization also have two types, internal fertilization and the external fertilization. The fertilization which takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization, and the fertilization which takes place outside the female body is called outer or external fertilization. And today we have discussed about the sexual reproduction in animals, like sexual reproduction in humans, like male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. And the process of reproduction in humans takes place in two steps. First one is fertilization, and the second one is development of embryo. And last we have discussed about the difference between zygote, embryo, and fetus.